Welcome to Courage on the Rocks, a space where stories flow like a good glass of whiskey. We're two best friends pulling back the curtain on all the conversations that usually happen behind closed doors.
From grief and love to dating, friendship, motherhood, and all the chaos of life in your 30s. We're diving into it all with honesty, humor, and a splash of courage.
This podcast is about real stories, ours, yours, and the incredible people we'll meet along the way. Whether you're here for inspiration, a fresh perspective, or just to hear from someone who gets it, we're glad you're with us.
So grab your favorite drink, hit play, and join us as we navigate the highs, the lows, and everything in between, one episode at a time.
Right?
Alright.
Here we go.
Is this playing?
Yep. It's
Recording.
Yeah.
It's been far too long. Yeah.
We're finally made it back into the studio.
We are back
Into the bar.
into the bar. Woo! Yay! Yeah, feels like it's been forever.
Yeah.
But welcome back to Courage on the Rocks. Yay!
Very exciting episode today.
Yeah, I'm so stoked for this episode.
Yes.
Also stoked to try this. What's
This
our beverage?
is Olipop today. Cream soda. We're on with the supportive digestive health. Cheers.
Cheers to healthiness.
Yes. Here we go.
Whoa.
That is cream soda.
It's weird at first.
Yeah.
I think a lot of things are weird at first.
Yeah. But it gets better.
Especially when they're good for you. You're like, I don't know about this.
Yeah. I like it. It's a good recommendation from a friend of ours.
Okay.
Well, why are we drinking something healthy?
We're excited.
Yeah.
We're I don't even know how to start.
We have a very big announcement.
Like
huge that we have been holding for a few months
yeah,
now.
we've been holding this in.
Yeah. I wonder.
Literally
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
theoretically.
4 months now of waiting.
4 months
In the making. Yeah.
in the making. I mean,
Anyone know?
any
Anyone
guesses?
I know, right? Any guesses?
I mean, I have no idea.
Yeah, right? 3, 2, 1.
She's
I'm pregnant!
We're pregnant. I'm kidding.
We're pregnant. No, one of us is.
It's not me. It's definitely this one.
Me. Yeah, we've been. Yeah.
Holding that in for a
Holding it in.
while. We've been passing off alcoholic beverages to you guys. Also, if there really is alcohol in there, when there hasn't been alcohol in these drinks for months.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Natalie and my mom mentioned that as well.
Oh,
They're
really?
like, my mom's like, you're not really drinking alcohol in those episodes. No, not Natalie's
No,
like,
we're-
every time you tell me an alcohol suggestion, I laugh because I know there's no alcohol in actually
Oh my
happening.
God, your mom though.
Yeah.
So we're publicly drinking
Yes.
and then going to have proof that you are drinking while pregnant.
Yeah.
No,
No, we're
it's
not.
basically been like coconut water.
Yeah.
We've been doing
Probiotics, liquid IV,
juices, liquid IV, Gatorade,
Yeah.
like all of it. We've
Anything
been
we can.
passing it off. Any of the times where I'm like, drink it.
Mm.
Oh god, there's a lot
Shot
of
of
tequila
vodka.
in that. It really tastes the whiskey. No, just
Mhm.
hydration.
No. Yeah, I think we were, also for me, I wanted to hold off on sharing the news
Yeah.
until like a certain point.
Yeah.
We found out the week after our Spartan race. Crazy enough.
Oh man.
Yeah, the week after our Spartan race, I came back from an appointment, and I knew something was wrong with my body. Just
Wrong.
not wrong, but like not. It didn't feel. It didn't
Yeah.
feel normal, you know.
Yeah.
Like I was so much more tired and I'm pretty in tune with it. So then I was like,
Yeah.
It's just this weird. I've been having to go use the restroom a lot. I have really good bladder control, so then it's
Yeah.
weird.
I wonder like how many women know they're pregnant because they're peeing significantly more. Like that's how I knew. Is I was like, why am I peeing so much? Let me go check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, that was me. I was like, that was a lot more than usual. We went, I went. Chris was like, "What's going on? You look a little freaked out." I'm gonna go pee again, and then I took it with me. We took the test. We both waited, like just staring at the thing for like 3 minutes, and then it showed. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Wow.
And then I couldn't believe it, so then I made him go back out to the store and grab a couple more boxes.
And then you did more.
Yeah, and then we did a couple more tests just
What
to
was like that feeling of like actually like seeing if it
yeah.
seeing it be true for the first time? Like
Yeah.
what was that like?
I mean, for us, because we've been together for 2.5 years now, we've had conversations about it, what it would look like, and getting married, having kids, all of that. And for me, it was like I was excited to be starting a life with him. But when I saw that one, I genuinely, and a lot of people know this about me, I genuinely didn't think I was ever gonna have kids.
Yeah.
For a long time, I was like, no, it's
Right.
not in my cards.
She's
It's
gonna
not
be
me.
the cool aunt.
I love being the cool aunt.
Yeah.
I love it, and I work with kids 24/7 all the time.
It's exhausting.
It is. It's exhausting. And I was like, and I never actually had someone special to think that far ahead.
Yeah.
You know, so when I saw that positive sign, I was just like, oh shit, like
It's happening.
it's happening, and I think I can do it. You know, there was like,
I think.
well, I know I can do it now, but I like at some point I was like, okay, like yeah, this is for me. Like this is my life. So
Yeah.
it was exciting. How about you? When I told you
Oh man.
randomly.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about this.
Yeah.
We went climbing.
Yeah.
And it was like just a normal day, normal
Right.
casual climb. I didn't
Afternoon
expect
climb.
anything. And we get in our car to leave, and I get in the car, and I don't leave immediately for some reason. I'm just like doing something in my car. I don't know.
Checking
And
phones.
I literally see her. I'm like, okay, well, she's backing up. She's leaving. Cool. And then out of the corner of my eye, like she had like just randomly just stopped the car, pulled back in, just started walking straight to my car, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I was on the phone, I think, with Parker, and I was like, hey, let me call you back or something. And she opens up the car, and she's like, just like throws the door open.
I gotta.
And I'm like, what? She's like, I can't wait anymore. I have to tell you something important. My car's messy sometimes. I'm a mom. And then she literally just tosses my climbing bag, everything off of the passenger seat, just throws it on the floor, sits in, slams the door. She looks at me, she's like, I'm pregnant. And I was just like, yeah! Pretty much, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what.
I'm so excited.
I was like, I think it was the last thing you would have ever expected me to say.
I thought something was wrong, and then it just comes out of her mouth, like, just so much anxiety. Like, she just was about to, like, burst. She
Yeah.
burst. She
Yeah.
burst, basically. And it was, like, so thrilling.
I held it in for a few days,
Yeah.
but I was like, no, somebody else on this planet needs to know what I'm going through. And I was like, I can't wait. I can't hold it. And I like, because I knew, like, I needed to be able to share that. Is this normal? Is what's happening? Yeah. Like, I just needed to talk to someone about it.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Sure.
no, you have to know now.
Yeah, she was gonna wait until we did an episode.
Oh, yeah.
But that week we weren't able to do it at the time we usually do it, and it was just getting pushed back. And she's like, I can't wait. Like,
No,
she was
I
getting
can't.
like.
I was like, I can't go through another week of like climbing and episodes and things like that and not tell her
Yeah, for
as
sure.
well.
Yeah,
So I was like,
true.
no, I really had to.
True. Especially when you're feeling like crap when you're climbing, because you've seen a
Yeah.
difference already.
Oh, yeah.
When you're climbing.
Oh yeah, I'm like a little bit slower and like my endurance and the level of difficulty, and also I think the last time we went outdoor climbing, I was just a little bit more fearful.
Fearful, yeah.
You know, like I realized it wasn't just me putting I'm making the choice of like putting myself on the wall, but also like there's another person I'm carrying on the wall as well.
Yeah.
So that was a little fearful as well. But I was like, yeah, no, I have to tell her because we're gonna go through so many other things from that point on to now. And I was like, no, like she needs to be aware of it.
Yeah, and then I've been sitting with that for a while. And then I also got to be lucky enough to be the person who found out the gender of the baby, the sex of the baby.
We had a gender party.
Yes, and you guys did it on the 4th of July.
4th of July.
Right. So paint us a picture. What was this like?
Yeah, we had some good portions of our family and our friends in town, and we were already going to go over to my parents to celebrate 4th of July. So we were like, let's make it a big celebration as well and have all of our family and friends. We this past week I was getting the house ready, getting things organized, buying some things.
Mm-hmm.
And then my parents' houses, we decorated for 4th of July plus gender reveal.
Yeah.
And then on the 4th, people arrived, and outside it was like we had pink balloons and blue balloons.
Yeah.
We had all of our family and friends standing out front. You were the gender keeper.
Yeah.
It was really cute. My sister made a little video. She sent it to me of everyone like making their guesses and their predictions. It was really cute.
Are you
Yeah.
gonna post that?
Yeah.
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 I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it was really cute.
I did see the one you posted of like your announcement on Instagram, and it was really cool for me to see because just like the amount of people who commented and responded and showed their excitement. Like, did you feel like?
Oh yeah.
What was that like for you?
That was
to
really
get that?
nice to see that from both of our friends, because like we have not been sharing publicly about this information. We wanted to make sure we tell the people that were closest to us in person and first, and also I was concerned like I want to go through this safely first, to see where it all goes through, and also like slight portion of me wanted just to keep it our needs, just like just to share that. So it was really nice to finally publicly announce it and see the reaction from people, because I think there's a lot of like stigma in my mind the first time I was thinking about this. So like I'm not married, and like but Chris lives with me, and like but we're still having a life, and like but you and I have had conversation like you can't plan everything out, and like life is supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be messy and beautiful and in its own
you don't have to follow the traditional to the T, right?
And Chris was reminding me, he was like, I'm Hispanic, like it's okay, this is like a lot of my friends and family, and they get married after they have kids, and like but in my head like that wasn't what I thought
was the story was gonna be
that what I was like trying to write, but
that was definitely like, as a friend, like that was hard at first, right, for you, and like worried about what that was gonna be like, and feeling that stigma. I feel like that weighed on you a lot. And that's why it was so exciting for me to see the response that you got, knowing that probably just like kind of washed away that like stigma and shame that is placed on you from society, when really it's like, you're 30, you're in a very healthy, beautiful relationship with someone you've been with long term, you guys are living together, you have your own home, you have good careers, like there should only be joy around it. Like it was so exciting. It was really nice to be able to witness that from society, I guess, from the public, I guess, from where we put it out online. And I think at the end of the day, like you and I said, it's our family, it's our nuclear, it's the people that are in our lives, and that's going to best support us. And so I'm very happy with that. We had everyone there. We had you purchase, and it was good because you were out of town. So I got to be the gender keeper, the holder of that knowledge. I intentionally waited until I got out of the state before it.
Literally that next day, she's like driving to Oregon. I was like, now you made me find out.
Right? Seriously, But I mean, even then, like we worked together, so I was just dropping little like funny little bombs.
Skirting with my head.
So we'd randomly be like working on something, and then be like, "Oh, how is he feeling today?" And she's like, "He," or I'll be like, "Oh, I can't wait to buy her something," and then she's like, she's like, "Do you know?"
She was just kept on saying things. I was like, "Oh my gosh, she knows."
I was the holder of such powerful information. I really loved it.
It was also really nice not having like for me to know that, because I would have shared it with people, and then it wouldn't have been a special reveal. So it was nice, and then you got the poppers.
Yeah.
We stood out in front of the grass, and we did a countdown, and we popped it, the confetti. We'll show a video of it as well, so you guys can see.
She's wearing blue. I'm wearing pink and purple. Do we want to know?
Should we tell you? The gender is, or as some of our friends would like, the sex.
Yeah.
The sex is a. A girl. Baby girl.
Women empowerment.
I know. Girl.
I was rooting for a boy just because I have a boy and they're gonna grow up together, but it's just I'm super excited.
Yeah. When I popped it, the confetti, it honestly did not register in my brain what color the confettis were. Yeah, I was like just watching it and I saw his go off too and I was just like, ah! Is that pink? That's pink. That's pink, honey. And then I saw my dog who got pink powder all over his mouth. Yeah, and I was just like, oh my god. Yeah. So it was really cute and everyone had great reaction. Loved that. Like all of our close family friends were there to see and witness it.
It's a core memory that you guys were able to create for yourselves.
It was a beautiful day. Then, after we did that, we went in, had hot dogs and hamburgers and swim parties and just kind of sit down and talk to everyone and check in and do fireworks. So like I could not have asked for like a more beautiful day, to celebrate the news of the sex of our baby.
Yeah.
But I'm relieved also at the same time, like to know the sex, to start preparing, start what they call it, nesting, right? To be in that nesting phase.
Yeah.
That's our baby.
So what is this?
This is something that remember when my mom created that book?
Yes.
What
is that book?
That book, a couple of episodes ago, was talking about my adoption. So my mom put together a book from when she adopted me and like has stories and pictures and little things.
Yeah.
So when I found out I was pregnant, I knew like I wanted to somehow document things. But if you look on Amazon and Google and stuff, like baby books and stuff, there's so many different books and choices, and I was nitpicky on like, I like this chapter of it, but I don't like having to this information. And I don't need to know every single little bit of detail. And then I wasn't documenting myself weekly. I didn't want to do that either because like I work, I have a life, I'm so busy, I forget what week I am anyways. So I decided to I remember that and I was like, you know what, I love scrapbook idea and I like just doing like the core memories or the biggest weeks or important appointments. And so I put together so far the beginning of our book. And at the time when I got this, I didn't know what sex it was. So I thought this would be like a nice neutral one for he or she. At the time I was writing this one. So this is our little book. I guess we'll go over a little bit of it. The first one, we talk about the very first appointment. I took a selfie.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. So I did first appointment, and then I printed out the announcement that we made for all of our families, and we sent them.
Why did I not get one of those?
You did. I texted it to you. I will text it to her.
Did people get a printed version?
No.
Okay. And they're not anymore.
Okay.
I was like, I want that on my fridge. That's all we're expecting.
Yeah, so there's that one. And then I wrote a letter.
Oh.
Yeah, I wrote a letter to, at the time when I made this, I didn't know sex, so I just wanted to make it very, just like hopes and wishes and dreams and stuff. And then a little on, our very first ultrasound we went, our appointment, I used the self-laminating things to keep it protected. When Chris first saw the ultrasound, he could not believe it was actually like a baby was in there. He was like, you could see the head and the body and the feet and everything.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. I've never seen something like that. Also, like, that was inside me. That first week, I was like, I didn't know that I knew I was pregnant, but I needed to see it. I needed to hear it. I needed to so it didn't really dawn on me until I saw it, and I was like, oh my God. And then Chris just wrote one after the gender reveal, so super sweet. I did cry when I read it, so it was really, really sweet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right? I was like, maybe you can read it, because if I read it, I might cry and I won't finish it.
Me?
Yeah, do you want to read it?
Okay, this is what Chris wrote to his baby girl. I wanted to read. Let me restart. Let me do this again. I wanted to wait to write in here until I knew your gender, because it would give me a much better idea of what our life was going to be like together. Now we know you're a girl. Your mother and I couldn't be more thrilled. We love you so much already. I can already picture all the adventures we will explore together as a family. Just know your mother and I will always love and support you no matter what. Can't wait to meet you, my baby girl.
Right. So cute. I know. Emotional. It was really cute because he's not, Chris, I love you so much. He's not he's not one to express it through written.
Yeah.
He's really good verbally, and he shows his love and my love, differently. So it was really nice to put it down for pen.
Yeah.
And then we got baby bump pictures taken. I saw on our Instagram a friend was doing mini sessions, so I was like, let's do it. Let's do it for announcements.
Yeah.
And then at this point, I was like, okay, I can document little things that I remember.
Yeah.
First time we found out. First appointments. First time I told Auntie Mariah outside of Alpine. And then also when we shared the news to our friends down in rock climbing. Right before a route, before Ryan was belaying me and I couldn't get it. And I was just like, okay, I gotta tell him. And I turned around and told him, I'm pregnant. He was like, what? I was in the middle of belaying me. I was like, what? And I was like, don't fall. Yeah, exactly. They were very excited. Yeah, so different 9 weeks, last day of school, a little memory of being able to share with my students.
Yeah.
That was really cool and very exciting for them. And then we talked about starting work. It was rough, but we handled it like a champ. And then week 16, my parents came to the appointment to hear the heartbeat, and then we went out to dinner to celebrate.
Aww.
Yeah, it was really sweet. And then this is our next one. I haven't filled it out, but the gender reveal invitation. So so it's gonna be a growing things with photos and little notes, and I think this was more my style when it comes to
I love this. I had so many books for Leo that I would attempt, and it's just they're not custom, they're not meant for you, they're so generic.
Yeah.
And so detailed, and what mom has the time
oh my
to do
gosh,
that? And if you did, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But whether if you did or not, it doesn't make you a better mom.
Yeah.
Right? But I love that you found something that fits you and you made it work for you.
Yeah.
And I love that you had a mother who did it for you.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's beautiful.
I think it also allows me to take a little bit from everyone that I've been watching and learning from, your mother's skills and my mother and other people that I admire in this role. And it's okay, I get to learn from all of these women and get to now. Now I get to do it, instead of listening about it and being sympathizing with what you're going through. Now I can have empathy because what I'm going through and I know what you're going through now.
Yeah.
I can experience it for the first time.
Yeah, it's a lot different when it's you're actually experiencing it.
Yeah.
I feel that's one of the biggest things that I've learned growing and getting older is the more I do something new, the more I realize oh my god, this is so much harder than I thought it was. Even just when we bought a house for the first time, you don't know how to do that, and you think, oh whatever, and then you do it and you're holy crap, and then you move it all in and you're oh my god, people do this, and having a baby, it's as someone who's never had a baby, and you're oh, they need help, oh, they're not getting much sleep, oh, it must be hard, and then you do it and you're oh my god.
Yeah.
But also we say things oh, it's the most beautiful thing in the world. Like it's
Yeah.
it's a type of love that is like so different than all other love. Like you never
Yeah.
look deeper than your own kid,
Yeah.
and you have this idea of what that's like, but then you're about to experience that.
Yeah.
And then I think like there will be a moment where you're like, holy crap, this is what they're talking about.
Yeah. My younger sister was talking about the same thing, you know, with her 2 kids, where the moment like of the giving birth and stuff, it was your brain is going through this whole like disconnect of like having this baby, but the minute that baby's on you, you're just like, oh my god. Yeah, she was like, this is my responsibility now for the rest of my life, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's kind of beautiful, and I'm excited to be able to experience that and share that with others.
Yeah, I'm excited. For the journey. Yeah, and I get to be right here.
Yeah, front row seat to see how it all. And it's funny, you've been in the front row seat for quite some time of like my nausea and my sickness and like and our work, being able to work together while going through this was really nice. Working with someone who like totally understands like why it takes me a little bit longer to walk somewhere, or why I get sweatier, or more emotional.
Why she's puking a few times.
Yeah. Right? Why like lunch is just not as tasty anymore.
If I don't hear from Leanna for like a good 30 minutes, I'm like, I'm like texting, girl, you puking in the bathroom?
I'm like, just give me a minute. Yeah. It was fun. It was nice.
Yeah.
It is, I will have to say at some point, it is a little overwhelming, a little as well. Not the concept of like me being pregnant, like the news, but TikTok and Instagram and social media, like such conflicting information. Because you know, like at the end of the day, all what we want to do is just like protect and love this child. And there's like one video that said don't do this, and the other video do that.
Every single thing contradicts each other, and I feel like that's the biggest issue that I experienced. And then like I see that with like my brother and their new baby, and like I know you're gonna do it. Like I eventually stopped being on social media, and it like I have never since been on TikTok again. Like 100% cut that out. But like it's choosing to like step away from that, like cool, know both sides, right? But then you just do what works for you and your family and your specific baby. Right? Like the more you make it more natural to what feels right, the better it's gonna be.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I think also this podcast is going to help us a lot connecting with people and having different conversations. Because we had talked about, you know, like one of the elements that this podcast was founded on was motherhood.
Yeah. Which there hasn't been an opportunity to really go into it. And I feel like
now
there is. That's not because like, well, it's helpful that she's actually pregnant. Like, I'm a mother. But also like we've been focused a lot on grief, and it's really, I don't want the podcast to be just on me. And like that's kind of been this conversation, because at first it was like, well, where do I fit in this? And like, what do you mean? You're young. Right? But like I feel like now we're able to like really blend it in, to like really start talking about all of it, right? Not just like grief isolated, not just, you know, you and Chris isolated, not just dating isolated, but it all intersects. Right?
I think also like it's a good reflection on the seasons of our lives. We talk about this all the time, like phases and seasons of our lives. We were at the beginning of this podcast, we were still in that season of like support and grief and going through these hard times and being able to balance it all. But also like now that I'm in a different season of my life as well, it's going to be highlighted. It's going to be, you know, talked about. It's going to be the ups and downs of what I'm going through as well. And with experience and reading and knowledge from others.
I find it interesting. I was like debating like, do we even talk about this? But I'm gonna plug it in. I find it interesting that like that. Going back to like this intersectionality of like, now you're pregnant, now you get to like really talk about it, right? But like the intersectionality that I like is that like is one thing that I wanted to like kind of weave into this podcast was like talking about grief, but not solely focused on it. Right? Because that's what life is like for me now, where it's like, I live my life, and it's a beautiful life, we have a lot of fun, but like grief is still in the background, like whispering in my ear, right? But I don't want our episodes to be like, oh, just about the grief, right? Because that's not what life is about. So like for this episode, I find it so interesting that like your gender reveal was on the 4th of July, right? Because my gender reveal was on the 4th of July, and it was for my little boy Leo, and we were so excited. And so like I literally had this core memory, what is it, 4 years ago, and that she then got to have that core memory, right? And I know how like beautiful and exciting, and like I got to like, well, we didn't do the poppers or picked like a soccer ball and then blew one everywhere, right? But like that feeling is like, oh, she's going to experience the same. I have a core memory, and it's the most beautiful, exciting thing. But as the same caveat is like, oh, but like my husband died, right? And so like I remember waking up and getting ready, and I was like a lot more like disassociated than I usually would be. Not that I usually am. Let me rephrase that. I was disassociated when usually I'm not. And so like that was an opportunity for me, because like I showered, I wanted to like have like a little bit of meltdown, honestly. But then I got out of the shower, and I just kind of turned to Parker. I was like, hey, I just need to let you know, like I think I'm gonna struggle a bit today. He's like, oh, why? And I was like, so I actually had my gender reveal on 4th of July too. And he's all, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of struggling with memories and stuff. And he just like hugged me and said, okay, like let me know what you need. Which is like a great way of like showing like that's what like grief kind of looks like when you're dating, when you're with someone new, right? Or someone who wasn't your partner, right? I was married. But then, you know, we went to your party, and I wasn't stuck in that grief. I was so focused on you and excitement for you, and like it was just like a blip. Like, I still hold that, right? But it's not like crazy heavy, and it didn't stop me from like being just so excited. And like it just I love that I can have, I guess, empathy, or like I know what that's like, and like that you finally got that, right? Like that's amazing.
That is, and I think it's a beautiful story, and a reflection of the healing and the work that you have done through it. Because you and I have talked about how dates are so important. Dates trigger things, and when Chris and I had decided to like when we were going to have the gender reveal, I had asked and I talked to you about it, and I knew what that day would signify, and I was there as your friend on that day of your gender reveal, so I knew what it could bring up. But I think it's the beauty of all of it is that you were able to acknowledge it, and you sat in it, and you also like Parker was so beautifully and lovingly sat in it with you as well, and like it's really interesting how time and seasons of when you put in the work can slowly heal you. And like you said, like it's going to be there, but it's not this all-consuming, like you cannot move on with your life. Because I think that would have been more painful for us to have witnessed, is like if you weren't there to celebrate with us because it was on this day.
And that could have been a decision that like I feel like people do make decisions like that. We're like, oh, like
I can't do that. I'm
not going to be there. But it's like, what have you done to work on it? You know? Whereas like,
and such a disservice to yourself if you have missed it too.
And the people in your life, right? And you're right. This is a great example of what it looks like to do the work, and to still show up for your people. You know?
Exactly. I knew the importance of it. I like totally appreciate it, and I think that's why also it was really important to me that like you were the gender keeper of it, because I knew the importance of why you needed to be there. So I was like,
strategic.
No, it's just random in the hat. Oh, look at that.
Sure, I guess we're
right. No, it was intentional for a reason. You know, like it was special for a reason.
It really was.
I'm really appreciative that you came and you went and saw that, and you get to celebrate with us. I think it's a beautiful journey of what this next phase for both of us is going to look like. Like you being that supportive, like loving aunt role to my kid now. You know, and like I can lean on you for what the hell is going on to my body, to
You
this
need to
baby?
be on that
And you being calm, like, it's okay. You'll go through this.
You have to take a shower.
Right. I'm gonna go cry in the shower here. Here's a child I can't take care of for like 5 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited for all that.
Well, cheers with this non-alcoholic beverage to this really cool new journey adventure that we're all embarking on.
Yay. Cheers.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning into Courage on the Rocks.
Until next time, hold on to your courage and we'll see you soon. Cheers!